Okay, students, I just want to go over what needs to happen this week. So this week we're writing rhetorical analysis. You should have written a rhetorical analysis in 1301, so this should be familiar. That's when you look at the some sort of text and evaluate essentially how persuasive they were to their specific audience. So this first video goes over that in more detail. That is a teacher video. The thing that is different about this one, so first of all, your rhetorical analysis will be on some sort of text that is influencing you to make some sort of decision. So I've put a couple videos at the bottom that you could choose from. Those are all YouTube videos. You can also choose an article from the textbook. It can also be something that you run into in your, life. If that was like a social media post or an advertisement or, maybe an email you got from someone who's trying to get you to buy something like that. Something where someone was trying to get you to make some sort of decision. That's what I want you to look at. So that's the paper today or this week. And it is going to be written in APA format. So that's the second video, is going over how to do APA formatting. These things below it are helping, just they're written guidelines about how to do APA formatting. So like the first week, after the videos, teacher videos, you're going to have guided notes, and you'll need to read chapter 6 from the textbook, Everything's an Argument. I don't know, I know some people maybe have different, like online or whatever versions. It's the one that's about rhetoric, so if there's a little bit different numbering somewhere, you want to look for that. And then I have the Google Doc. If I click on this, will it show me? Oh, sweet, okay. Yeah, so like last time, you're going to be filling in the words that were here. So these are actually taken from the textbook, and you put in the word that you find as you're reading along, and there should be plenty of kind of examples, or not examples, but plenty of, like, it should be pretty apparent where it is if you're reading along with it. And then I do want you to answer some questions in here. So there's that one, just that last one is a question you answer. So you guys, for the most part, did great on the first guided notes. That's just what you're doing again here. I include a video about how to quote, paraphrase, and summarize, because that's what you'll need to do, because you're using somebody else's words and ideas in your rhetorical analysis. You'll need to properly cite them, and not doing so is what it is called plagiarism, so let's not do that. Okay, and then after that, your discussion post is the next thing you want to do, and this one we're talking about rhetoric in real life. So like the first post, you might have noticed that it was kind of a precursor to the paper. That's what most of my discussion posts are. It's a time to get you sort of in a low stakes way to start thinking about the topic of the paper, and then interact with your peers and start to see how they're thinking about it as well. This time I'm including, like the guided notes, fill in the blank kind of an idea. They're sentence starters. This is not to say that there's like one answer like there are for the guided notes. This is just to say these are the different topics I want you to mention, and this is a way to get started thinking about it. Now, you don't have to fill in these specific sentences if you don't want to, but you do need to touch on all of these individual topics. So I have a Google Doc here that you could download and fill in, your answers, and then copy and paste it back into the post if you want to do that, or you could just touch on each of those different topics. I'm asking that you respond to one of your peers in a way that helps evaluate how they did, how their specific text would affect you. Something more than "good job, this was a great post." So I want you to be interacting with them on what they said in their post. At least 3 to 5 sentences there, and then turn on your notifications for whoever you respond to, so that you guys can have a bit more of a back and forth. So if, your peer says, "Oh, I don't understand this," then you can respond, "This is what it was." Okay, that's part of the discussion post that I'm looking for. And then last week I gave you a outline that you could fill out if you wanted to. This week I'm giving you an outline that does need to be filled out. So I'm having that due on June 17th, which, if I remember right, is the Saturday before your paper is due. So that's kind of to help save you, so I know that you've at least touched on it before your paper gets turned in. And then again, I have a Google Doc down here if you want to copy and paste, and you can just do an outline and make sure you mention all these specific topics if you'd rather do an outline. Okay, these things right here, these are all sources to help you in writing your paper. This is a link that talks about how to write a rhetorical analysis. This is an example of someone considering the fallacies in a commercial. That just helps to think about, how can you talk about the strengths. Usually students are pretty good at looking at the strengths, but also the weaknesses. This is what this kind of highlights. It's a pretty short video. And then this is a sample rhetorical analysis from St. Louis Community College. This is not written in an APA format. There's also a rhetorical analysis in your textbook on page 121. That would be good to look at for getting started too. Okay, and then writing your paper, like I talked about, I want you to find some sort of text that persuades you to do something and analyze how effective they were in it. For rhetoric, you should have a very specific audience, which is you. So, or whoever you think their intended audience is. They should have a specific purpose, there should be a context, and you should talk about the strengths and weaknesses, including how they used ethos, logos, and pathos. I am not asking that you discuss a specific logical fallacy if you don't see one or can't make a case for one, but I am asking that you discuss weaknesses in the text. And then this other thing I'm adding on here is I want you to reflect on all of that. Like, what does that teach you about, how to be persuasive in your own writing, and what you should, use when you write. Here are some options you can choose if you really can't think of anything that's made you make a decision, but you don't have to choose any of these. You can use anything, any text that helped you think through some sort of decision in the future. All right, that's it. Let me know if you have any questions.